Welcome back, everyone. Nick and Lex here. Thank you so much for being here to another episode of Music with Nick. Today we got a marathon lined up from a progressive German band out of Hanover. And thank you so much, NARVIK. I wanted to thank you, of course, for making this video happen, for sponsoring the video, and also welcome back to the channel. I did see that you were very busy and, you know, just life just happens, and I hadn't seen you in the comments. So welcome back, of course, to the channel, and, you know, you were missed. So we have a list here of this amazing band out of Germany, and we're talking about ELOY. That's the band, and I've done some ELOY reactions. I don't think I've done like a whole marathon, but I've done some ELOY, and it's pretty much like what I said, progressive rock, but out of Germany, and they're very good. So let's give them we're gonna do out of 2 albums. We're gonna do the first one is Floating. This is from oh wait a minute, Floating. They got the year wrong. We'll figure it out. We're gonna do Dawn. 1976. We're gonna do the song The Midnight Fight and The Victory of Mental Force. Now the other one here, the Floating album, let's look it up real quick because they got the year wrong. Floating ELOY. That is from 74. Yeah, they put 2000 here for some reason. But okay, we're going to start off with the song Floating by the album Floating. Then Castle in the Air, album Floating. The Madhouse. And then The Midnight Fight / Victory of Mental Force. And pretty much they're all, you know, within the 4 to 8 minute ranges. So it's only going to be 4 songs to do the 25 minutes of the marathon. So you guys buckle up if you want to grab some, you know, water, coffee. I got my espresso right here as always, you know, to keep my senses, you know, alert. But yeah, if you want to grab anything, I'll be right back in 1 second. All right, and we're ready to go. So enjoy this one. Also, all the fans, you know, all the prog rock fans, thank you so much. All the German prog rock fans that we do have some on the channel, thank you so much for watching the videos, all your support. And it's been a ride, you know. I've been having so much fun. Today we released our first AC/DC video. If you want to check that out, Alexia and I, I'd seen the video, I think once. I mean, it was just so much fun, and it is like you know, it's a challenge to get AC/DC on the channel because first they block it. Literally, once you upload it, it gets blocked. They don't even give you a chance. But then when you dispute, they kind of unblock it and you can watch it. So it takes a couple of days. If you guys ever want to request AC/DC, I can now say, go ahead, you know, and we can react to AC/DC because we will see AC/DC soon. Well, not so soon, but on October 6th, on Alexa's birthday, we're going to see Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses the same day. The next day, Ozzy Osbourne and AC/DC. And then the last day, Metallica and Tool. So I have a lot of catching up to do. So yeah, just wanting to let you know. But hey, we're going to focus on ELOY. Here we go with the first song, 74, Floating. And here we go with Floating. Enjoy. my God, Narvik, please tell me if you don't think that this might have inspired Iron Maiden. I mean, the dual guitars, the bass is like very prominent. It's very there. So that's always a typical Maiden, you know, trait. The bass is always on the forefront. That's always almost louder than anything else. But the bass, I love the keyboard dance, the sliding off. But the dual guitar here did remind me. I mean, it was 74. Iron Maiden came out 78, 80. You know, they got together 78, released their first album in 1980. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, sorry, but I think Iron Maiden, the first one, came out 1980. But it has that, you know, it would be so cool to say, hey, maybe this band did inspire Steve Harris and the band, you know, to do what they're still doing to this day, which is now defined as the Iron Maiden sound, the dual guitars, you know. Okay, let's go back. It's really good. I'm loving this whole, like, the voice and the whole, like, the vibe is really gallopy, really cool. Nice. Wow, the bass. And the cowbell. Very cool solo. Yes, man, that was great. Great instrumental track, great drumming. Oh my God, really cool. And I love the part where it slowed down and just the bass and that beautiful solo in the middle. That was very nice touch. And I just love that it was like, oh, you know, it doesn't, sometimes a song doesn't need too much lyrics. And if it's an instrumental, it's a nice add-on to just, you know, sing a little chorus. But this was great. So now we're gonna get into the proggy ones, because the next one is 7 minutes, then we got a 5-minute one, and then we're gonna top it off with a 8-minute track. So super excited. I've always liked Eloy, you know, the stuff that I've heard before, but I'm super excited to do a full marathon. Is awesome. Thank you so much again, Narvik, for this. And let's keep going. Castle in the Air. Here we go. Oof. I'm sorry, but this is like literally, it could be, if I don't know, if I would know, if you would play this to me like blindfolded. I mean, I know the thing is, I do know the Iron Maiden sound so well, and I know all the material. But if you would tell me, oh, they released this before they became Iron Maiden, I would believe you. It sounds so much like them, and of course, you know, Eloy is first, so it all comes down to. I would like to see on Wikipedia, maybe, I'm going to do this by myself, but it's like just these questions that I ask myself. You know, maybe this was a band that highly inspired them, you know, to play the way they play, because it's very, very similar. Now, it could be wrong, but I mean, it is just, you know, you always cling on to what you know, so it does sound a lot like Maiden. And, but of course, the credit goes to Eloy because they were the first. And it's always nice for me, being from Germany, to hear a band out of Germany that plays, you know, like one of your idols, you know, because Iron Maiden for me is one of my favorite bands. But yeah, let's go back.
I saw an old man sitting with his head in hands. His eyes reflect the wisdom of his life. His words painted a new world, and my thoughts just followed him. But when he stopped, something inside tore me apart. If I can get it back, my castle in the air.
Egyptian vibe going on, bump 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 beat bum. You know, it's very you can also call it like an Arab scale, but the whole singing and the guitar, the melody is also very like the scale. I don't know exactly which one it would be, but it just sounds, you know, very Arabian Nights. But yeah, the whole it's very in that style. Man, this is so good. It's like I wouldn't even call this. I mean, I know it's progressive rock, but this is almost like metal. You know, it's very in the vein of heavy metal. You know, just what I know is heavy metal. It's amazing. I loved here at the drum part at the the microphones. I guess they added like a flanger, like a that sounded really really cool. I never use it. I don't know, but I used to use it back in the day. Yeah, it just gives a little bit of character, and you can manipulate the faster or the slower you want. You can go, and it just gives like a wavy kind of feel. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this is so good, man. Man, what a great track. This is gonna go on my playlist. Yeah, like it sounded very Egyptian or Arab, you know, and it's also so cool because Iron Maiden, I'm going back to Iron Maiden because it's so similar to me, but Iron Maiden even like they based an entire album on Egyptian, you know, I guess you know, history. You know, there's a Power Slave. I'm sure you guys have heard that album. If you haven't, you have to listen to it right now. And not all of the songs are, you know, sound very Egyptian. I think Power Slave, the title track, sounds very much Egyptian. It's also like what he was doing here. Oh, now I have that tune in my head. But yeah, it's just sounded very much of that era in the world, you know. And man, what a great track. 7 minutes that went by, and for me, like 2 minutes. It was so enjoyable. And then again, I love the part that he was playing the guitar, but he was singing too. He was doing everything, singing and playing at the same time. Great drumming, great bass, amazing. I wonder if this entire album is instrumental. That would be that would like go directly on my playlist, all of the entire thing. But we're gonna continue now with Madhouse. Here we go. Nice panning here. Listen to this. The drummer is insane. My lord, this was so good. The solo, man, this album is. I'm just looking it up. I was literally like, is there like a lot of information on this? And I don't know why there's not more. Man, so this was recorded in Cologne, Köln, Germany. Wow, man, it's insane. I love this album. So good. Well, there's not a lot of information. I thought this was like a bigger release, but hey, you know, not everything, I mean, gets the recognition it deserves. This for me is literally on par with Deep Purple, you know, Rainbow. It's literally the playing, you know, the talent on the instruments is just off the charts. It's like literally as good as Deep Purple, as good as Led Zeppelin, you know. Maybe the vocalist, there's a little bit of singing. He's not a Robert Plant. Robert Plant is a very special guy, you know, has with a very special voice, but musically speaking, these guys are on the same level as any band at that time that was big, you know, like Black Sabbath, or, you know, like I said, Deep Purple, or even like the first albums of Iron Maiden. It just sounds very like that, you know. And they got more polished with Number of the Beast and Peace of Mind and stuff like that, Power Slave. But man, what a trip. What a great. So I'm gonna now we're gonna get to the big burrito here, the 8-minute song. I'll be right back. I do need to do something super quick. All right, I'm back. I needed to get some water. Like, I'm literally dehydrated here. I do recommend, you know, and some people are like, hey, how can you drink coffee and water at the same time? I mean, yes, it has a little bit of bubbles, but it's no problem, you know. I think these are just very refreshing. And when you drink coffee, for every cup that you drink, I think you should drink at least 2 or 3 glasses of water, because otherwise, you know, it just dries you up. And, you know, just if you know, if you ever were wondering, like, why does Nick always drink coffee and, you know, bubbly water? I guess I should not drink bubbly water and just stick to normal water, but hey, they taste really good. So, all right. So yeah, that's what I wanted to get. Here we go. I was really like, okay, I'm like about to faint here. I need some water. So salute. All right, so let's go. Because this is the long one, the midnight fight, and then / victory of mental force. Man, this so far has been a trip. ELOY, I've heard some ELOY before, but they were never as proggy, or maybe they were as proggy, but not as metal. And this one is very metal. So this is from the album called Dawn, 1976, and this is the song. Let me see if this is the longest one. Let's see. Yep, we got the longest one here. So here we go. Thanks again so much, NARVIK. This has been a blast. Thank you so much for this marathon. Here we go.
And fires are arising from dangerous cause. The darkness recedes from my feet, turning cold air into heat. My skin becomes more hot and dry, my weapons behind my eye. The ceiling moves higher and fuses somewhere into sky. Who will be dying by flashing and crashing through the time?
Sorry, but this is heavy metal. This is not progressive rock. That's bum, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. And I do hear hints of like the keyboards, the like arpeggios. Reminds me a lot of Kansas. Oh man, this is so good. This is, I don't know how much time it took you to choose these songs, but you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I wasn't really a fan until today. I heard ELOY. I appreciate them, but I was like, it's a great band, and that's it, you know. But now I'm a fan. Like, honestly, it's ridiculous how good these guys are. Let's go back. Here we go.
I cry, start to fight now. Frightened by my force, I chase your endless source. Don't hide behind doors, no challenge. I'm here, alone, at your fear.
We got some Phantom of the Opera here. Like a chromatic scale. Really cool. A bit longer. Beautiful. Man, this was great, man. This was awesome. I love the voice. I think it could be a little bit louder, but it's just, um it is the recording, but I do like the vocalist. I mean, he's not as, theatrical, I guess, as other vocalists, like Ronnie James Dio or Bruce Dickinson, they're but I mean, you don't have to be. Sometimes it's, it is whatever you express. And I guess if they wanted a falsetto, singer or stuff like that, they would have gotten one. But I'm very intrigued now, Narvik, if you can answer this, or anyone who's a, an Eloy fan, how did they ever play along, like with, the Scorpions or some kind of festival? Did you ever see them live? Because in Germany, I mean, that's where, I guess that's one of the bands that sticks out very, very much, the Scorpions. And that time in 74, I think they were very heavy, and also kind of like, I think a little bit proggy, even though they don't consider themselves like a progressive metal band, but it was definitely metal. And then later they became more, commercial, which is fine by me. Their music is still awesome. But I mean, just in the 70's, their music was way more, I guess, heavier than in the 80's. The 80's, it was distorted and everything, but then it's when the power ballads came in, and also, they saw like, hey, if we make those more, we get more, we'll fill up more stadiums. And that's, an artistic choice, but I just saw, I did, I always like to get on when you see this here, this light. That's because I'm on Wikipedia, and this was their third album, Floating, and the other one, Dawn, was their fifth album. So, but they have albums up to 2019, The Vision, The Sword, and The Pyre, Pyre, and I mean, all through the 80's. So I'm intrigued to to listen to some 80's, and I have to check what I listened to already, because I'm sure that you guys already played me some 80's Eloy, but there's 90's, 2000. They took a big hiatus here between 98 and 2009, and then they released another one in 2017. So I hope there is more to come. There are DVDs live, and who knows, man, if they're still on tour, because usually when you're on Spotify, it tells you when if they have toured in the last 3 months, it will show up. So right now, I presume they're not. But man, this was a trip. This was a great marathon of prog, but also heavy metal, and they got everything. They got the guitars, they got the dual guitars, they got the riffs, the solos, very clean playing. I love that. I appreciate that from a band, because you just hear that they're, they're dedicated to their craft, to their playing. The bass is just like off the charts, the drumming as well. Those two guys are just one union, and that's the way it should be. The drummer and the bass are always basically one, and then the guitars were just, like I said, beautifully performed. And in the last track, I really got to hear the singer. I think it should have been cool if it would have been a little bit louder, but I mean, come on, you don't really control that, especially back in the 70's when you were recording in recording studios and you had engineers, and it wasn't your decision really. You were listening to the producers and, and to the so-called professionals, and the musicians just do their, it really depends on the producer, and on the studio. But I wish that the voice was a little bit louder, just to appreciate him more. But hey, this was a great marathon. Everyone, if you're an Eloy fan, let me know what you think of the reaction. I really had a great time. Thank you, Narvik. I hope you're doing well. And if you take another hiatus, you're always welcome in the channel. You know that. And but yeah, we really noticed that there were no more comments by the great NARVIK. So yeah, I just hope you're doing fine. Thank you again for this marathon, and everybody else who's been watching. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.